At the beginning of the story, we see how Queen Himiko of Japan was bent on destroying the entire kingdom using her dark magic. To save the country, the generals rebelled against the queen, imprisoned her, and left her on a deserted island where there was no one for miles around. Years later, Lord Richard Croft came across an old map that revealed which island Himiko had been abandoned on. Richard left his daughter behind in London and set out to find Himiko himself. 7 years have passed since then, and now a grown-up Lara is fighting MMA matches. During one fight, her opponent overpowers her. Soon, Lara is caught in chokehold. She struggles for a long time, but eventually has no choice but to tap out. Since her father disappeared, Lara has been barely getting by through small, odd jobs. One day, her father's business partner, Anna, comes to meet her. Anna tells Lara that she doesn't need to struggle for money because her father left a lot behind for her. However, Lara doesn't want her father's money. Richard disappeared 7 years ago. Anna then explains that Lara needs to sign some papers so they can officially declare Richard dead. Otherwise, all his property will be sold, and Lara won't receive anything. That evening, Lara starts thinking about her father. Before leaving, Richard had given Lara a necklace that once belonged to her mother. He had told her that if she held the necklace and thought of someone, that person would know they were being remembered. The next day, Lara goes to the Croft Holdings building to sign the papers declaring Richard dead. Before she signs, the lawyer gives Lara one of Richard's puzzles called Kalikuri. As soon as Lara solves the puzzle, she finds a hidden letter and a key. The letter reads, "The first word of my final location." Lara immediately understands what it means and goes straight to her father's grave. She presses the first letter of Richard's name, R, on the grave, revealing a keyhole. When Lara inserts the key and turns it, a door opens on the other side of the grave, leading to Richard's secret office. Inside, Lara finds several fake passports and an old video camera containing a message from Richard. He explains that after his wife's death, he searched for a way to reunite with her in another world. That is why he began working on Project Himiko. He wanted Lara to burn all the research related to the Himiko project, warning her that if it fell into the wrong hands, it would cause chaos. Lara also finds a box labeled Himiko. Instead of burning everything, she begins reading and examining the contents. She learns about Himiko and the island where she was kept, Yamatai. Lara discovers that Richard was heading to Yamatai and also finds information about the ship's captain who was supposed to take him there. Because Lara still hasn't signed the death papers, she hasn't received her inheritance. So she sells her jade necklace and uses the money to travel to Hong Kong. While searching for the ship's captain, some men pretend to help her but steal her bag. Lara chases them across boats, but they escape on a moving boat. She runs through the market and manages to catch up. As the men disembark, Lara grabs one of them who has her bag. The man threatens her with a knife, but Lara swings across using a hook and escapes. That's when she spots the ship the Endurance, which she has been looking for. However, the men are still chasing her and soon surround her. Suddenly, the ship's captain, Lu Run, fires a gunshot and scares them away. Lu tells Lara to leave immediately, but he is heavily drunk and collapses off the ship. Lara splashes water on Lu to wake him up and shows him her father's letter, asking about Richard. Lu explains that his own father was also named Lu and that Richard may have spoken to him. He then reveals that his father has also gone missing. Both fathers disappeared on the same trip. Lara tells him they were traveling to Yamatai. Lara finds coded markings in her father's diary indicating where they might have gone. Lu figures out that the codes represent clock hands. Using this, Lara marks the island's location on the map. Lu warns her that the island lies in an extremely dangerous area and that traveling there is very risky. He also claims he doesn't care about his father. However, after seeing an old childhood photo of himself with his father, he changes his mind. Lara notices items lying around and guesses that Lu lost money gambling the previous night. To help him, Lara offers him a large amount of money. Lu agrees, and together they begin their journey toward Yamatai Island. While reading her father's diary on the way, Lara finds an ancient Asian puzzle among Richard's belongings. She learns that Himiko was imprisoned behind a sealed door and that Richard had discovered a way to open it. Reaching Himiko's location on the island would be extremely difficult and filled with danger. During this mission, Richard was being watched by an organization called the Order of Trinity, which seeks to use mystical powers to rule over humanity. Richard feared that if they obtained Himiko's power, the consequences would be catastrophic. One night, Lara wakes up to find a violent storm raging outside. She rushes to the bridge, where Lou is struggling to control the ship. Lara realizes they are very close to Yamatai Island, but massive waves keep pushing the ship away. Lou tells Lara to abandon the ship, but Lara went to her cabin to retrieve Richard's diary and, in the process, left the old puzzle behind. Just then, the ship collided with a massive rock, and Lara was thrown into the water. The storm separated Lou and Lara. Somehow, Lara managed to reach the shore, where she realized that there were other people living on the island as well. Suddenly, someone struck her from behind, knocking her unconscious. When Lara woke up the next day, she found herself inside a tent with a man named Matthias Vogel. Matthias told Lara that he too had a daughter, just like her. He explained that he couldn't leave the island and return home until his work was complete. When Lara checked her bag, Matthias told her that Richard's diary was now in his possession and that he had obtained everything he needed. Matthias revealed that they had captured Lara's father. Since Richard refused to cooperate, they were forced to kill him. Hearing this shattered Lara. She believed her father was no longer alive. When Lara was taken outside, she saw workers try to collapse a mountain using bomb blasts. As Lara was being taken away as a prisoner, she noticed that Lou had also been captured and was being forced to work. Matthias ordered everyone to move to another location. Along the way, Lou explained to Lara that most of the workers were either fishermen whose ships had sunk and stranded them there, or people who had fallen into the hands of smugglers. Lara told Lou that Matthias had killed her father. Soon after, Lou also learned from the workers that his own father had been killed. Lara apologized to Lou for bringing him to such a dangerous place. Using Richard's diary, Matthias discovered the entrance to Himiko's tomb. All the workers, including Lara and Lou, were forced to clear the path to the entrance. At one point, an old man collapsed from weakness. A guard shouted at him to stand up and keep working. Lara and Lou stepped in to defend the old man, confronting the guard. Suddenly, Matthias arrived from behind and shot the old man dead. Lou grabbed a pickaxe and threw at the guard to give Lara a chance to escape. As Lara ran, another man prepared to shoot her, but Lou attacked him just in time, saving her. Lou tried to escape as well, but Matthias shot him in the arm. Lara reached a hillside and attempted to cross using a fallen tree. Due to the gunfire, she fell into a river. As she struggled to get out, she reached a waterfall and grabbed onto the wing of a crashed airplane, climbing onto it. Unfortunately, the damaged plane began to break apart under her weight. Lara quickly ran toward the main body of the aircraft and jumped inside just before the wing collapsed. The entire plane soon broke apart and became wedged between two hills. By sheer luck, Lara found an old parachute. As she fell, she opened it in time. Lara crash-landed in the jungle, where a sharp tree branch pierced her abdomen. Screaming in pain, she pulled the branch out and decided to spend the night in a nearby cave. While sleeping, she heard noises and stepped outside. Suddenly, one of Matthias's men, Roth, grabbed her. Lara bit his arm to escape and fought him with all her strength. However, Roth picked her up again and slammed her to the ground, then tried to choke her. Lara grabbed a stone and smashed it into his head. She then forced his face into the mud so he couldn't breathe. After a short while, Roth died. Lara was still in shock from having killed someone when she noticed a human figure in the darkness. Without thinking, she followed him. She saw the man climbing a hill. When she reached him, she realized it was none other than her father, Richard. Richard believed he was hallucinating. How could his daughter possibly be here? Lara convinced him that she was really there. Tears filled Richard's eyes as he asked why she had come. Seeing Lara wounded, Richard bandaged her injuries and promised that this time, he would never leave her alone again. The next day, the workers cleared the path to Himiko's tomb. After that, Matthias made a phone call. When Lara woke up in the morning, she saw Richard shaving, and she helped him. Richard explained how difficult it was for him to leave Lara behind, but because of Himiko, he had been unable to escape the island. He revealed that Matthias worked for the Trinity organization, and that Richard had to stop him at all costs from reaching Himiko. Richard asked Lara if she had burned all his research, Lara admitted that she hadn't. Hearing this, Richard panicked. But Lara said that if she had destroyed the research, she would never have found her father. When Richard learned that Matthias had his diary, he became furious. Lara, however, remained focused. Richard warned her that this was no joke. If Himiko's tomb was opened, the entire world could be destroyed. Lara decided that they could escape by using Matthias's phone, since fighting so many soldiers alone was impossible. She picked up a bow and arrows and headed toward Matthias's camp. Sneaking carefully, Lara managed to enter Matthias's tent, but soon he returned, forcing her to hide. Matthias received a message on his phone saying that his boss would arrive soon, but he still didn't have the codes to open the entrance. When Lara left the tent, she spotted Lou. Lou killed the guard watching the workers and instructed everyone to gather weapons, while Lara attempted to steal Matthias's phone. As soon as Matthias exited the tent, Lara rushed inside and successfully stole the satellite phone. However, she then saw Richard being taken toward the tomb. Matthias soon noticed Richard and began torturing him. Matthias wanted to finish the job quickly and return to his family. Richard warned him that once the tomb was opened, his family wouldn't survive either. Realizing Richard wouldn't cooperate, Matthias ordered a guard to shoot him. Before the guard could fire, Lara shot him dead. She then aimed her weapon at Matthias, but Matthias had already aimed his gun at Richard. Matthias knew Lara wouldn't believe warnings about the end of the world, so he forced her to convince her father to open the tomb. After much thought, Lara decided that after finally reuniting with her father, she wouldn't let anything happen to him. Lara said she knew how to open the tomb, just like she had solved the ancient puzzle earlier. She turned the wheels on the door accordingly, and the entrance door collapsed and opened. Lara, Richard, Matthias, and his entire team went inside. As soon as they entered, a powerful gust of wind rushed through. Richard believed it was Himiko's breath, but Matthias dismissed it, saying a human's breath couldn't be that strong. Suddenly, Lara accidentally stepped on a trigger, causing a spear to shoot up from the ground and kill a guard. They then reached a deep pit filled with human bones, remains of those who had died there. To cross to the other side, they used a ladder, but suddenly one of the guards accidentally stepped on a trigger, causing the round doors inside to shut instantly. Everyone was now trapped inside, and the floor began to collapse. Lara noticed that one guard had been left outside and was watching them through a hole. Lara tried to use the wheels on the wall like keys to open the door, but the floor beneath her gave way, and she barely managed to hang onto the door. She kept trying with all her strength, but the door wouldn't open. Then Lara remembered the entrance puzzle and realized that to open this door, the yellow and red wheels had to be combined to form a green wheel. As soon as the green light appeared, the door opened. Inside, they saw broken and damaged graves. These were the graves of Himiko's maidservants, women who continued serving Himiko even after death. Everything was exactly as Richard had written in his diary. Seeing this, Lara began to wonder if the curse was real after all. Finally, they reached Himiko's tomb. Richard tried to convince Matthias that opening the tomb would be a huge mistake, but Matthias refused to listen. The guards opened Himiko's coffin, and her dead body lay inside. Suddenly, Himiko opened her eyes, and her body began to rapidly decay. Lara noticed that in the tomb paintings, Himiko was never shown as a demon. She then remembered the earlier puzzle which said that for life to be restored, Himiko had to die, and that anyone who touched Himiko would die. Lara warned the guards not to touch her. Now Lara understood that Himiko had sacrificed herself to save the world. But the guards ignored her warning. As soon as they touched the body, Himiko rose. Matthias thought it was just an act meant to scare them. But one guard who had touched Himiko began to turn black. His flesh started rotting. This revealed that Himiko's body carried a deadly virus. To prevent it from spreading, Himiko had sealed herself away. The infected guard's entire body began to decay. In panic, he fired his gun, killing the other guard who had touched the body. Matthias then shot him as well. Even after witnessing all this, Matthias decided to cut off one of Himiko's fingers to take to his boss. As Matthias did this, Lara picked up an axe and attacked the last guard. At the same time, Richard grabbed a fallen guard's gun and shot Matthias in the leg. The injured guard chased Lara as she ran toward the exit. Matthias told Richard to go home, but Richard refused to let Himiko's finger leave the island, knowing the virus would spread across the world. Matthias opened fire on Richard, but his gun soon ran out of bullets. At that moment, one of the infected guards rose again and attacked Richard. While Richard was distracted, Matthias escaped. Richard shot the guard, but not before the guard touched him, meaning Richard was now infected as well. Richard tied a bandage around his arm to slow the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, Lara hid inside one of the maidservants' graves, but her foot stepped on a bone, making a noise that alerted a guard. The grave collapsed under their combined weight, and Lara fell into another chamber. The guard fell with her. Lara spotted a trigger and stepped on it, causing a rain of sharpened wooden spikes to fall from above. One of them struck the guard, killing him instantly. Lara then returned to Himiko's tomb, but Richard told her to stay away. He was already infected. He instructed Lara to stop Matthias while he set fire to Himiko's tomb. Lara wanted desperately to save her father, but Richard had already accepted his fate. He told her that seeing his daughter again was the greatest gift of his life. Crying, Lara picked up her weapons and said her final goodbye. Meanwhile, Matthias was crossing the pit of bones. Lara jumped and landed on the other side of the ladder, blocking him. She kicked Matthias, sending him back, but he refused to give up. A brutal fight broke out between them. Matthias grabbed Lara by the neck, but she managed to knock him down. Determined not to let him escape, Lara destroyed the ladder. Matthias grabbed an axe and attacked Lara, knocking her to the ground and choking her. At that moment, Richard blew up Himiko's tomb with explosives. The blast distracted Matthias, allowing Lara to kick him and shove the bag containing Himiko's finger into his mouth. The virus entered Matthias's body instantly. Lara then pushed him into the abyss. As the entire place began to collapse, Lara climbed the wall, desperately trying to escape. From above, Lou spotted her and pulled her out. Together, they saw Trinity's helicopters and threatened the pilots, forcing them to leave. Back in London, Lara signed the papers officially declaring her father dead. She became the owner of Richard's company. Anna told her to take over the business, but Lara said she had no interest in it. In the end, Lara bought back her mother's necklace that she had been forced to sell. Holding it in her hand, she remembered both her parents. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.